as we go to 5 red lights in KRL for Tier 1 Round 1, where the lights are off and his foot to the floor, and looks like ELYAS did get a pretty good start. Tetraby is there alongside, making or trying to make a gain. Tetraby is going to move to the inside. Is he going to be latest on the brakes in the Ferrari? No, he backs down. ELYAS stays in front. However, ELYAS has gone pretty deep into turn 1. The Mercedes is going to hold it around the outside of the Ferrari and does indeed get past. However, there's a Mighty King and Semantic Coaster spinning in the background after making contact into turn 3. But we're going to look up now at the front. Tetraby leading the race from ELYAS. Jamie holding off in P3 with Mick very close behind that Haas. Going to be seeing if he can make a move into the next couple of corners. It looks like Jamie went really wide, which is going to invite Jamie to go round the outside. Not Jamie, Mick, sorry, round the outside of turn 8, but wasn't able to do anything into turn 10. Who is going to be latest on the brakes and who's going to be the bravest? Tetraby gets around pretty nicely. Looks like Jamie once again goes a little bit deep, and I don't know if Mick is going to be able to try and make a move on that Haas. It looks like ELYAS is getting pretty close to Tetraby as well, but however, Mick is going to stay behind Jamie for the time being. Here we go though, the gap is under a tenth momentarily as Tetraby and ELYAS go very close, and ELYAS is going to go down the inside into turn 11, and ELYAS retakes the lead of the race. Tetraby must have had a moment going through one of the earlier stages of the lap, as he is now behind that Ferrari. However, Tetraby is still trying to hold this down the inside of turn 13, just has to back out last minute though and stay behind the Ferrari as they went into the final corner. However, will Tetraby now be able to re-overtake this Ferrari in front? He moves over, and is he going to be close enough? He is already passed before the braking zone, and Tetraby retakes the lead. However, it looks like ELYAS is going to go down the inside for a time being, but then backs out and stays behind the Mercedes, as Mighty King has not really had the best of comebacks, as we see Semantic Coast and Mighty King going side by side into turn 4. And are they still going to be side by side through these next couple of corners? They are. The Semantic Coast on the inside just has to back out from Mighty King, who held his line around the outside and was able to just get a better exit. Semantic Coast has a slight look down the inside into turn 8. Looks like Semantic Coast and Mighty King are going side by side, as well as there's a little bit of a switching back there between Tetraby and ELYAS as they go side by side through turn 4 into turns 5, 6, and 7. It looks like Tetraby just edges ahead of that Ferrari and stays in front, but will ELYAS be able to make a move? He broke later, and I'm surprised he was able to just slow that car down just enough so he doesn't run into the back of that Mercedes. However, you can just see there from a helicopter cam how much more speed ELYAS has, obviously running a lower downforce setup, and that is probably going to help Tetraby in the corners. However, ELYAS is going to be almighty quick on the straights, and he's going to go around the outside into turn 11, and ELYAS is going to roll it around there. Tetraby then has the inside for these next few corners, but ELYAS just edges ahead of Tetraby there. Jamie nearly within a second of this duo in front, and Tetraby retakes the lead of ELYAS. ELYAS, though, switches to the inside, brakes later. Just gonna hold it around the inside, which then becomes the outside, and ELYAS just tucks in behind Tetraby. However, ELYAS now is gonna have a run into turn 4 on the outside of the Mercedes. He's gonna brake a little bit later. He's gonna go a little bit wider. Is Tetraby gonna force him off? No, he doesn't. Tetraby complies with the racing rules, gives him space, and they are going side by side through this complex. ELYAS just gets ahead. Will Tetraby, though, be able to re-overtake? No, he doesn't. ELYAS just blocks him off very nicely. This is going to be a three-way battle here. Tetraby moves to the inside. Mick follows him, as Mick knows that Tetraby will have the higher speed. Into turn 1. Has Semantic Coast been absolutely swallowed? He moves over a little bit on Mick. I don't know if Mick got a little bit compromised by that. I believe ELYAS has finished his pit stop and is now going to be leaving the pit lane. Where is Tetraby going to be compared to that Ferrari? That Ferrari is probably going to come out early, quicker, but Mick gonna go down the inside. Is it gonna be a three-way side between these two? But no, ELYAS actually manages to stay ahead. However, Tetraby and Mick are gonna be fighting. Tetraby forces Mick off a little bit there, and I believe that will be seen by the stewards at the end of this race. but ELYAS maintains the lead, and on those soft tires, he could just effectively pull away from these guys. Tetraby and Mick going to be fighting it out, and ELYAS and Tetraby still going quite nicely. Tetraby goes off track there and breaks a bit of the DRS board, I believe, so maybe he had a bit of a moment out of turn one, which has caused him to lose quite a bit of time, over a second. So Tetraby is now out of DRS range of ELYAS. Is he going to be able to pull that back though? But if he has, he is going to be all under pressure by Mick. They will still have at least these big points secured. However, you can see there Mick going down the inside of the Mercedes into turn one. Tetraby is going to try and hold it around the outside though. Tetraby now has the inside, and it's going to be side by side. Are they going to be side by side into turn four? It looks like Mick is ahead momentarily. However, Tetraby switches to the inside for turn four, and it's going to be side by side into turn four, as it looks like both of them are still leaving good racing space between there. However, there's contact there, and Tetraby has spun round. I literally said it on the final lap, and Tetraby has been sent spinning into the wall. And he's probably going to make an overtake on this AlphaTauri into turn one. He's not burning ERS. He doesn't really have enough ERS probably to burn, but he is easily past that AlphaTauri before the braking zone, and he is up into P2. But around the final corner comes ELYAS. Gets a little bit close to exceeding the track limits, but across the line, ELYAS wins the Bahrain Grand Prix, his home Grand Prix, and he'll be very happy with that. And in the background there comes Jamie to take a lovely P2 for the American team. Mick then crosses the line in P3 for AlphaTauri, and that is a great podium to see. Tetraby, unfortunately, had a little bit of a contact with Mick, comes home to still take P4. A great drive from him, sort of. And then Mighty King and Somatic Coast come home to take the final positions of P5 and 6.